What's up, YouTube? We back with a little pop up live about fan base. If you're new, welcome. If you return in fan base, import your TikTok, Instagram. Pastor Jamal Bryant is finna speak on the boycott on fan base. Be sure to download fan base. I'm finna drop that information in the chat for you guys. Yes. Waiting for that audio room but open. But I am one of your fan base ambassadors. The minimum to cash out on the platform is $5. Subscribe for your chance to win 1,000 loves. Um, yeah. So, uh, that's what we waiting on. Couple minutes. Make sure y'all hit that subscribe. I do a whole YouTube show. One other fan base on Fridays. So, let's see. So we waiting for that audio room to open. Target. Target. Pastor Jamal Bryant. Yeah, we waiting on this room to open. What is the room?
Target underestimated our spending power. We about to break down Target. Think around and find out. Target underestimated our spending power. We are
Waiting for that room to open. What's good? What's good? While we waiting, I'm about to put my fan base link. Y'all definitely need to download fan base. Definitely download fan base. Y'all need to invest in fan base. I am one of your fan base ambassador. Download fan base and subscribe to me on the spot. Receive 100 loves. That's what we do. Okay. That's the only two links we need to worry about right now. See if they open the room yet. Waiting for this room to open. What y'all been up to? Definitely download fan base. Definitely. Oh, your girl. Waiting for this town hall to open. Pastor Jamal Bryant talking about Target. Social media app. Y'all hear my neighbors singing. Oh my goodness, looking for this room, y'all. See if see something. Y'all, I'm not messing with y'all today. I was supposed to be doing something else. What's the name? I'm clearing my screen. Just this post alone. Just this post alone. See what I'm saying? Fan base. So we are waiting for the room to open. No, I ain't crazy. I know the room didn't start it, and I don't see it. And I know it's just me. My bad eyes. Let me see. Is it my eyes, y'all? My passing room, y'all. Basket.
People that I just never looked up any of that information. So, thank you for sharing that. Because honestly, I didn't know any of that. Still don't. Still got to, I'm sure, do some reading up on it to see how deep that goes. And with that, Federico, you wanted to say something before we go back to Khalid?
Oh, no, I just wanted to ask Hadley if they're Ethiopian, because a lot of the early church was in Ethiopia.
I know I ain't missed this thing on wrong. Here we go.
Gotta get this shit over. All right. Well, I'm about to bring people over from Clubhouse. Give me a sec. Let me change the title to the full name. Jamal Bryant.
New room just popped up.
All right. Give me a sec, y'all. I'm about to bring people over. If y'all want to pull up, raise your hand. Eyes them so. Get everybody in there real quick. Y'all give me a sec. I literally just got back to the house. I'm gonna get everything situated. I'm gonna bring everybody over. Jay, what's up? What's up? What up, everybody? That was good. Hey, Jay. How you feel about this boycott, man? Money talks. I'm gonna say that. Okay. All right, real quick. Y'all hold it down real quick. I'm about to bring everybody up because I'm in the elevator. I'm almost at the house. I'm almost in my spot. Hold on. Give me a sec. Hey, so yeah, so we talking about the Jamal Bryant Target boycott. So hopefully we can fill the room up in like 11 minutes. Watch it live. I'm about to play the YouTube up top. Give me a sec while we get people to transition over. That starts in 10 minutes. I ain't gonna lie, this is a powerful movement, man. We need to do this. up top. Get everybody in here. All right. Hey, Isaac, you there?
Yeah, what's up?
All right, hold on real quick. Just hold it down because I'm about to bring everybody from Clubhouse over right now, my bad.
All right.
Hey, Isaac, what's good with you? How can I get
Good.
what's going on? Hey, how can I get somebody to get in contact with you as far as marketing? They got an opportunity for you. They got an opportunity to see that's mutual beneficial.
I'm trying to think. Probably no one, but let me think about that. Yeah.
It's a big company in Atlanta, so that's why they one of their marketing people were talking, put some ideas together. We could talk about that offline, but if you're interested.
Okay, yeah. I'll send you. I'll DM you on here. Noah's email. So I'll hit you with a DM.
I bet.
Yeah. Oof. Crazy world we live in.
All right, let's get to it. Click the link in the chat, and I'll live stream.
Lou, are you talking? What did you say?
No, I was telling everybody to come over. All right. Let me bring some folks up. A couple people up. Jen, what's up? My co-host, Kalisha.
Lou, you in LA?
Yep.
Just make sure I'm not missing this thing we need to be.
I'm going to what today is. So y'all know it's a black CEO of Resort World. His name Alex Dixon. So it was like some scamming stuff that went on with the CEO prior. So they did this thing where they hire like a black dude to clean it up. They do this all the time. So he want to bring like the hip hop culture stuff to Resort World. So I'm going out there. Today is. I'm leaving Thursday to Vegas to go meet up with him, and I'm about to introduce him to a couple people that I know in the industry that kind of can help him out with the hip hop side. But yeah, his name Alex Dixon. Probably up there to I don't know. I'm booking a one way, so
Yeah,
probably see
I'll be
some things.
All
All right.
So I'll be meeting.
All right. But yeah, let me reset the room. So we want to do. We're talking about Jamal Bryant. I didn't know he started the boycott of Target. So he's doing yeah. So what's the story behind that, Isaac? Just to break that down.
He started the Target fast. Based off the statement that Target said they were gonna spend billions with the black community by 2025. and they reneged on that promise. They never fulfilled that commitment. And so it started with until they first fulfill the commitment to what they promised to deliver, then we need to boycott. So right when all that George Floyd, and that's one of the things I think that they were talking about is when all these companies were capitalizing on the George Floyd movement and the Black Lives Matter movement, saying they were going to do all this for the black community when it was good PR. You know, we're starting to ask, okay, well, what did you do? Like, what did you do? And Target made a commitment, and with that commitment, they did not honor it. So he's the one that said that there have been other people that have done things like we need to buy in and all that, but he specifically was talking about boycott of Target. So that's his movement.
Hey, quick question. When are we gonna get to cause that's a reactive approach, which is dope, right? Cause we always do stuff based off how people do us. Right? When are we gonna get to a point where we kind of doing a proactive thing, like just doing it just because? All right, if this business don't really do nothing for black people and they taking a lot of their money is based off our consumers and their black labor, why don't we just create a black, FANBASE, right? People should be just I remember when we did the cyber great migration and it was in reaction to Clubhouse changing the update and everybody complaining, right? So then we reacted by saying, okay, we're going to FANBASE, and then people came over in mass. Or when Trump put the ban TikTok, let's go to FANBASE. So when do you think we're going to get to a point where we have a proactive approach to how we boycott and strategically use our dollars?
Well, I don't really believe. I'm not. I don't like the word boycott because a boycott kind of means we come back, right? And I like the idea of we just out altogether because it creates an opportunity to direct those dollars and that energy towards something new, right? And that's the bigger opportunity, And I think we need to start putting our heads together and figuring out how we can do those things. I think convenience is also, and that's the thing that really troubles me, is a convenience that is such a drug to any individual, meaning if Target is convenient or Amazon is convenient, as opposed to going to find a particular business to patronize or whatever, or an app. We just got to get out of that mindset because nothing's going to change. It's not going to. There's a lot of things. Unfortunately, with all the things that have gone on this year and the attack on black culture, I don't think that black culture has even begun to learn its lesson. I don't even think it's started. I don't think it's learned any lesson on a multitude of levels. I'm just being 100%. I don't think it's learned its lesson on so many levels, economically, politically, culturally, racially. We're not learning lessons, and we're getting mad for a little while, and then we're falling right back into the same traps. And again, I made that point before. Standing on business is a really great word we came up with. We are the least likely to stand on it, and at least with Target, we're standing on business when it comes to this, and we're seeing the power that it affects to the point that they're trying to go talk to Al Sharpton, which is that's a weak play. That's the old divide and conquer move. Al Sharpton didn't have anything to do with this movement. They're trying to sit down and have a conversation with him. And so there's no need to have that conversation with Al Sharpton. In fact, Al Sharpton should not have had that conversation. He said, I'm going to defer to Jamal Bryant because he's the one that started this. And I'm the one that did the buy-in with Costco. So if Costco wants to have a conversation with me, I'll go talk to them. But if Target wants to talk at all, they need to go talk to Jamal Bryant because I have nothing to do with this. But that's what they do,
And I think that we can also, when we say boycott, that's like the lack of support on the consumer side. But if we're having an equitable conversation, I'm looking now, Target's current market cap is not that high. It's only a $42 billion company. So 0.01% of that is, 0.001% is $4.2 million. We could easily be structuring holdings companies and say, all right, let's go and spend $4.2 million on the public stock. We could be playing the media game to actually affect the stock price. We wouldn't be able to do it directly, obviously, because that could be against shareholders' primacy. But yeah, boycotting the current concept of it is more correlated with consumerism. But the other side of it is, this is not, that company not that rich. I know people may think I'm talking wild, but like in my world, a $42 billion market cap is not that high. It's $94 a share. We can literally be structured holding companies. We can call it the Sky is Falling Holdings Incorporated and buy some of the public float on the stock and play a different game. So even if we're not supporting it from the consumer side, we can still be owners in a lot of these companies. So when I hear conversations in certain capacities, then I know that people aren't thinking from the business side because they act like, oh, this is a $60 trillion company. These companies, some of these companies with the wrong move can be out of business. You see what's happening with Sears and a lot of other individuals. And this is what Bill Ackman does. He's the shareholder advocate. He's a hedge fund guy. If he don't like you, he's going to buy most of your stock. He'll kick the entire executive management out. He's done it so many times. And in fact, I think he was one of the largest shareholders with Target, and he was responsible for moving a lot of the management. Now, last point on this, the largest shareholder currently, and it's pretty obvious, is the Vanguard Group. They own about 9.5% of the shares that's outstanding. Then State Street is second, BlackRock is third, Capital World Investors is fourth, and the institutional ownership from investors that were already holders. So it's two parts of the conversation. It's the consumer side, and then there's the business side, which is the capital side of my assessment. I'm going on mute.
Hey, Isaac, what happened with Costco? I thought they were doing good.
No, yeah, something wanted to do a buy-in. He wanted me. We're gonna direct those dollars away from Target to Costco. So in response to Target, that was they doubled down.
Why the hell we do that? That's stupid.
What do you mean? Because Costco is super pro-black, and they've done like so much stuff for like equitable housing, and like they've really stepped out. I mean, they kind of put their neck out in terms of the Trump administration.
Yeah,
when it comes to the equity play, I think Durant's just right. I don't know if you guys know who Carl Icahn is or what he did.
Yeah, that's Bill Ackman.
He literally just comes in to take over a company, buys a quarter of it, and says, "All right, I'm firing everybody." Like that's how you actually make change if you want to make change to a public company, not by boycotting. Boycotting is really not going to do much.
Yeah, the other problem is we have too many people in our community that don't really know business talking for us. And we have to really put our foot down on that. I get it. Everybody think they should have a voice. And I'm talking about actually knowing if they actually know business. There's people that's multimillionaires and they still can't even explain to you how stock works. What's the difference between that, securities, equity? So it doesn't necessarily correlate that a person know business because they're successful in it. We need people that actually understand this. And here's what I've seen. All of the black people at Harvard, the black lawyers from Howard, and the HBCUs, they just don't want to get in the middle of the fight. Like, if you guys start going to these athletic clubs and talking to them, you're like, it's black people. They don't want to be in the middle of the fight. They're like, look, I'm doing good. I'll help you quietly. You need some help. I'll even fund your stuff, but I'm not fighting publicly. But this notion that we should have prolific religious speakers, no shot to Mr. Bryant, is speaking for us on some technical stuff that requires a certain level of chops. That's one of the bigger issues. That's probably primarily one of the bigger issues. We need a hedge fund black person, black woman, black man, black gay, whatever, a hedge fund person, a private equity person actually talking at the table. And Mr. Bryant can be at the table to talk the social side, but we need business people that really do business at that level talking at the table, because we're talking about a measly $42 billion company. Like in tech and private equity, that Target gets laughed at from a stock perspective. And Costco is worth $434.47 billion. So they're a bit bigger than Target. But if we're moving the money over to Costco, what money? The consumer money? How about we put holdings companies together and buy stock in these companies? I don't think we should be on the consumer side in a lot of these capacities. Or at least if we're going to buy, we should have a ratio that where our ownership to buy ratio, the ownership is higher than us actually spending money on a consumer basis. I'm going on mute.
I agree with the sentiment, Duran, but the issue there is the organization, which is honestly why I feel like even in sense of how we have community or we build community, even on something like FANBASE is so important, because this is where you can like centralize that agenda in real time without people having to put on clothes and go have sit down meetings. You can post links. You could, if we all wanted to, effectively make an economic movement happen, it's literally audio rooms with a URL, and we can shift our power wherever we want to whatever we want to shift it to in real time.
Also, I don't think we should minimize that Target stock is down 31%.
Oh no, it's working. It's working.
Like, so it's working, like, for sure. I mean, there's ways that it could be done differently, but I think that like off the fly, this has been super successful. And
it's the entire market is now, right? It's a good Target's not. Wait a minute.
I just want, because there's a lot of people in the room. Target's not down. What we come on, look at that now. It's 0.34% high.
No, I'm saying as from when Jamal started
for the year.
From when Jamal started, it's down. It's way down from when he started.
No, I get that, and I understand what Mickey is saying, because it's connected to what CR is saying. The entire market is down. So how do we know that Target is down specifically from the correlation of Mr. Bryant?
Because it was before. Because it was down before.
But we can't definitively say. There's no way to know that. All right, I'm gonna go on and let you guys have it.
No.
It's hard.
No, Durant. It's absolutely the reason why you know it's affecting.
No, that's what I'm saying. Look, Isaac, this is the problem. It's like people that don't do business. They're talking about business. We can't.
No. This is no. I mean, everybody's keeping track.
I'm asking you, Third. You say you love logic, and you say you love the truth. I'm asking you a question, then going on mute. How can you, in this room, tell the people factually that it's a system where we can emphatically determine that the stock dropped based on what he did? It's only speculation. There's no system with that. There is no website where we can put in and it will show us, yeah, for sure the stock dropped because of that. The stock could have dropped because the CEO smirked. My wife and I watched the stock market one time and watched the CEO put his head down in the middle of a meeting. We got out of the markets because it was going to be low sentiment on the confidence of that CEO.
I hear you. The point that I think
there is no but, Third, but I'm going on mute.
Okay.
Oh my God.
Well, that's fine. That's fine.
There's no but here, but go ahead.
Yeah, there's.
I mean, folks are trying to build, and you're just shitting on everything. I think we should actually acknowledge the steps that were taken, rather than just like
it's an
talking
opinion,
about
Kalisha. Everybody has their own opinion. I'm not shitting on anything. It's just a difference of opinion. That's it.
But there's two things to look at, right? This is I'm gonna say those first quarterly earnings. Those first quarterly earnings are probably released 2 weeks ago, if that. Those are the numbers you really want to look at to see if this has made an effect on that. All right, the number two thing is, let's look at a micro level. You are killing small black businesses. I personally know two businesses that went in there. They had to do a hard pivot and move over to Walmart because of this boycott, and they lost earnings. And Target was their biggest earner.
Oh, if I may.
But didn't Target drop all of the black businesses that they
No.
They dropped a good percentage, but
they did, and like especially their like I am or whatever that line was that they did, like specifically like uplifting black designers. All that is gone.
So may I address the stock and whether or not this is working? I think the fact that Target actually reached out to someone within the black community to have the discussion is indicative of the fact that it's working. I put in the chat, there's not just a black economic boycott of Target, there is also what's being called a Latino freeze, because they are also making their own efforts. If we want to do a comparison of the stock, what we would do is look at other companies, right, that are similar to Target for retail. We can look at Walmart. We can look at Costco, whatever. So the market itself is down. The S&P 500, it was up today, but year to date, it's down a little bit over 10%, at least the last time I checked. Target stock is down 31% year to date. So we can't say, well, the market is down in general. The market is not down a third. It's not down a third. We would not be having this conversation in this manner if the S&P 500, if the stock market was down 30%, right? That would be 2008. So I think that we can kind of look at these numbers, because we would really have to look at year over year, right? We'd have to look at Q1 versus when the boycott started. But I've been reading things that actually attribute a lot of this to the foot traffic declining. So it would appear that this is working, right? Latinos and black people have made a concerted effort to boycott them. And now Target is basically reaching out, as Isaac, I believe that you kind of reiterated, and they're falsely attributing it to what's his name, as opposed to Jamal Bryant, who initiated the boycott.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
I'm saying.
Hey, quick question. And why is because if you talk to the average person and the person who and you ask them like, hey, who's the person who organized this boycott? A lot of people would think Al Sharpton and other groups of black people, right? Why is nobody really talking about Jamal Bryant?
They are.
Okay.
Wait, who thinks Al Sharpton organized it?
No, they don't say something.
Yeah, the only reason my mom knows about this is because, once one church does it, all the churches, especially the Baptist churches, they were all ready to jump on board.
Hey, and y'all be knocking the churches, but
They know how to get them
they
moving.
know how to organize. They've been the church has been an institution that's been around for 300 years. Like these are the first group economics that we done in the church that financed what bureau was that? What was the bank bureau that we financed back in the day?
The Freedmen's Bureau.
Freedmen's Bureau, yeah, I'm tripping. And HBCUs, like a lot of people be knocking, even like the political organization that we done historically. A lot of people be knocking the black church, but when it's time to organize, man, it's a trickle down effect on the rest of the community. So
Yeah.
you gotta salute it.
I'm definitely with it.
Yeah, I mentioned Al Sharpton because the CEO of Target, like I said, this is the CEO of Target. Do y'all remember when Oprah went through that issue, for those of you that are a little older, with Hermes, and they denied her and she could, in the store and the salespeople were rude? This is the actual CEO of Hermes flew down and was on her show and apologized to her in person on her show, right? So we have a CEO of this company that reached out to Al Sharpton. That's why I said that maybe, Target just reached out to, because, the Al Sharpton is probably
The
better
first
known
nigga
in
they
his
saw?
own way. Well, the one that's in the
No, that's not. That was strategic. No. That was strategic. No.
But do you think it was to undermine the movement?
Yes.
Because
100.
I don't think Al Sharpton is a part of anything other than a retirement home, respectfully.
100%.
Whoa! Let's not disrespect Al Sharpton.
I'm not disrespecting Al Sharpton, but Al Sharpton even knows. He knows. What I'm saying is, he knows from the community who started that movement, so he shouldn't even have had the conversation. And a lot of black,
I do agree with
when
that.
that happened, a lot of black people like what's my oh man, I can't think of her name right now. But a lot of people came out. It was like, yo, that's not being on code. That's like if someone says, hey, like, it's the same thing. If there was an issue, if there was something to do with Costco, and they called Jamal Bryant, that would be Jamal be like, yo, you need to go talk to Al because that's his thing. Like, my movement is this movement, and so trying to kind of confuse the community or break that line, they know that. And that's all that,
So Mickey, by the way, I get that, and that's a good sentiment, but I'm always suspicious of that stuff because today, LVMH, the largest luxury brand, their market cap is $246 billion. Mister, you gotta mute your mic. Mister, their LVMH, their market cap is $246 billion. Bernard Arnault, that's why it's like the fifth richest. Hermes market cap is $247 billion. So whatever happened with Oprah back in the day, cool, but Hermes is even larger than LVMH today. And how much equity do we have in it? So I'm just always looking at that piece of it. I'm going on mute.
Durant, I don't know.
Wait, may I respond to him?
Yeah, go ahead.
So, one day, I think as a black collective, we can have this conversation on this app. No one is going to give us equity, number one. I've always thought that was a very goofy part of DEI. A Fortune 500 company, a Fortune 100 company, which there are more companies that gross over $100 million a year revenue that are private companies, meaning you're never even going to hear of them. Fidelity is a private company. They're not publicly traded. They're not going to give us equity. They're not going to say, here, black person, because you're black and you've been through so much historically, we're just going to give you some ownership. That's never going to happen. I don't even know why. How did that even get on the table? Target putting black people in positions to make money is not something they saw in the past as being benevolent and kind. Trust and believe that those black brands were there because they profited them, right? They're not doing anything. This is not some kind of charitable outreach. These are not public benefit corporations. They're in place to make money. And you know how I know this? Because their constituents don't care and their shareholders don't give a shit. Hell, I'm an Apple shareholder. Have I asked Apple, how many black people do you have on your board of directors, Apple? You know why? Because I have my iPhone. I have my Apple stock that I've had since 2008. And I have Apple products in my house. I'm not holding Apple accountable, and I'm a baby shareholder. Are we holding these companies accountable? When is the last time, outside of Duran, that someone has looked up how many black people are on your board of directors? You know why? Because how am I going to make them capitulate? What power do I have? So when we're talking about equity, what do you think that's going to look like? Them putting a black person in position of power? Shit, that's not my pockets. Because they're going to put Barack Obama on the board of directors, that's a win for black people? No, it's exposure, right? It's representation, but some people don't even like representation. But having a black president wasn't enough. So that's what I'm saying. If you're expecting to get equity out of these deals from these multi-billionaire companies, you need to wake up, because that's never going to happen. It's 2025. Go get your equity in your own deal, expecting what they perceive to be a handout when nobody cares. Like what? I think that's delusional. I've never understood that part of it.
No, and you are correct on that. And she was just talking generally to people. You got me in 100% agreement. But that's the thing that I'm talking about, Mickey. There's a loud pressure play, which is what the activists are doing. So I'm not going to suggest that that's not working, but working in what context? And then there's a quiet, strategic play where we have money in the black community. And the other part is, we don't have to compare someone that has 10,000 to someone that has 10 million. Every dollar has to respect every dollar. There is a play where we can be structuring holding companies, buying this public float, buying this stock. We could be teaching more people to become hedge fund managers. What I've noticed, Mickey, over the 4 years, even talking on social audio, when you really get the performative stuff out of the way, and you schedule some personal calls with people and get on Zooms and you start asking them questions. Have you ever read a 10K? Have you ever read an S1 and they say no? That's why your ass speak against it in the public, because you don't know it. And cognitive dissonance is a motherfucker. So that's what it really boils down to me when I'm listening to these conversations. It's not that anyone is correct or incorrect. People really don't know shit, and they know it's going to take a lot for them to learn it. When they do that first search, when they're at home by themselves, Mickey, and they search Goldman Sachs, and they have to read 7,000 things, they're like, man, this shit is difficult. I don't want to hear. That's what it really boils down to, because a lot of this shit is easier than what people think at the low level. While we're doing the other things, I don't think the black conversation have to always overemphasize on culture, always overemphasize on some provocation around let's go out and support and make our voices loud. It's a strategic play that has to happen on every end. All I'm saying is let's at least do 10% of capitalism, not up to zero. I'm not even at 50-50 yet. I know I have to walk this with black people for a minute, but let's at least do 10%. Conversation is always, oh, well, they have to do this, and we have to go out and boycott against them. Guys, it doesn't take that much time to sit down at home by yourself, get off the damn internet, and just learn what stock is. Learn how to put together a corporation. Learn how the holding company works. It doesn't cost anything to start a private equity firm. You're not about to be BlackRock overnight, but by definition, you could be a private equity firm. Most of those guys started their firms with $5 million. Different time, different money. Most people don't have $5 million, but these trillion-dollar companies then started at $1 trillion. Even BlackRock was born out of Blackstone because Larry Fink got fired. And he took $5 million and started it. Yes, you got to put 20 to 30 years in it. But we talk about this stuff like it's so magical. We talk about Walmart like it wasn't one store built by Sam Walton. We talk about it like shit just fall out of the sky. I'm going on mute.
Well, let me throw a couple things in here. One, just to go back to the boycott and kind of what happened. The week that they started talking about the boycott. Hold on, what's going on? The week that the boycott started, Target had a 7.9% drop in foot traffic. They've actually experienced a 9.5% drop in foot traffic, and then the stock plummeted from this DEI situation and the fast, and then subsequently from that, a company is getting a lawsuit from investors that had misled investors about the risk associated with rolling back DEI. So the investors were mad that they rolled back DEI. So once they rolled back DEI, then the boycott took place. Then the investors sued Target, which allowed more people to affect the stock price. And so and then it's other people, it's other groups as well. And so Jamal started that 40-day, like they're actually quoting his 40-day fast from Target is the one that the Associated Press and all these other people are talking about. So it's had an effect, and I don't have an issue with it. I don't have an issue with it having an effect. I don't have no issue with that. I'm just, okay, they're getting ready. They're getting ready to start too. Lou, are you still on the screen? So,
So third, just for context, because I'll be waiting to hear if you're going to give it. The digital sales are up 19.6%. So again, if I'm listening to you, I don't have an untrained ear. I'm like, well, how do we know that those foot traffic was due to the actual digital sales increasing? And the digital sales at 107. I'm just saying, when the people are listening to you because they look to you highly, when you say one thing but don't add the other, it's kind of like, it's $107.4 billion of digital sales. How do we know if that's not the reason?
no, look, I hear what you're talking about, but I know directly. Well, where did Lou go? Directly attributable
to his phone sometime.
It'd be directly attributed to this movement, right? And so we know here's what we don't want to do. Even if we do or do not know, and economic experts can qualify or quantify this, because the one thing that happens, and I'm not going to take MSNBC's word for it, but they report on this in that way. They talk about.
They're full of shit, by the way. But go ahead.
Okay, no, but I'm saying any of these media outlets. I don't care if it's Fox News. I don't care if any of them talking about this. Say Target stock is down. So there's a way to qualify and quantify this, and I'll leave that up for the experts. But what you don't want to do is to actually say, you're right in saying, let's quantify, let's figure out if this is working. Anybody say that in any advertising, any kind of space, you test and see if it's working. I think that's why Jamal said 40 days. Let's see where we're at in 40 days. And then if they haven't changed, we'll do another 40 days and see what happens in another 40 days. And the movement continues to grow and do that. So I don't have a problem with you pressing of quantifying or qualifying the data to say that what's actually happening is happening. But I also don't think we should make people discourage anybody that wants to participate from participating just to do it, because two things are true. Target has rolled back their DEI initiatives, and black people said they're boycotting. Those things are true. Both of those things exist. Now, whether or not they're related, we can do that. But with that, I don't want to minimize the effort of a movement by saying, how do we know? We don't know. But for some Target calls.
So who in this room outside of me actually made reference to the data? Because if you're saying that, then you won't minimize the data. Why wasn't it in anybody's submission?
No,
I'm not.
I'm not minimizing the data. I'm saying I'm just looking at it.
I'm not saying you are. I'm just saying, if I'm following your argument, none of you all made reference to the fact that it could just be speculative. It was all based on, so again, arguments are ceteris paribus, all things being equal. But if your argument is leaning more towards, we don't want to minimize this, but what you're doing indirectly is basically saying, I'm going to take the position that this is probably highly likely this is the reason why, while accepting that there are some other possibilities. But you didn't add that in your submission. Your submission was only based on the fact of this may be connected to the boycott. If I'm following your argument.
I'm accepting your argument. Like, yeah, it hasn't been qualified. But we will also say that Target has reached out to try to come to some resolution with the black community. And that, to me, speaks about whether it's not working or not. I don't understand. There's no reason for the CEO of Target to call Al Sharpton and try to get black people to come back and shop at Target unless there's an issue. And there's a couple things that are. Target is the second largest employer of black people in the United States of America, behind the federal government. And I think Jamal said that black Americans spend $12 million, I think, a day at Target. And so there's a lot of money there that could be redirected, regardless of whether or not it's affecting the stock price. If they're rolling back DI initiatives and their commitment to the black community, then there's $12 million a day that could be redirected towards other businesses or other black businesses or businesses that haven't rolled back DEI. And that's what I'm fine. Like I say, the minutia of you want to qualify. But here's the thing is, and this is what I would say for you. You don't have to, but I would, since I know that you're in, like, you're very detailed in that. I would love for you to find that out, or say, okay, let me dig in the numbers and quantify this and qualify it and say, okay, this could be working. And there's a lot more.
Mr. Third, Mr. I don't think you know what that was about.
And there's a lot more data, you know what I'm saying, to be ingested. Because now you're talking about what we're about to start talking about tomorrow. When you start ingesting data from multiple sources, foot traffic, online sales, the market trends, revenue, all these things, tariffs, run all that through an algorithm, and it'll let you know the truth. And nobody's done that.
Third, I'm running through the fire with the black community. You're going to have to shoot me in the head with everybody else. I'm just saying, let's go through the fire and die on a strong basis. I don't want to die on some loose shit. So let's talk about
I know, but sometimes
it's also undermining to the people we have in our community that's smart as shit about this stuff. Like we have some people with chops. I'm one of them. Like we don't have to. We have smart people in our community. It's not all everybody holding up signs.
Here's my problem with that though, is that people that know the things that you know and all the other smart individuals are not platformed on media outlets that are owned by black people to actually have this message and have that conversation. That's an issue. And that's another issue. Is like collectively, I mean, bro, then if that's the case, then you and all the other economists and people that are going to crunch these numbers.
You and I both know why that. Well, that's another room.
But my point. But see, that's my point. Then
get them money, man. You know that.
No, but my point is then we're back on the same issue. Then we back on the same issue. It's like what's the problem then? Why you not on? Like why? Now one thing I do know is the black media definitely. Jamal's been everywhere. He's been on all the radio shows. He's been on national television. He's been on everything to do that. So and they're having something. They're about to start in a second. They were having some technical difficulties. So why are you not being platformed? And again, I'll say we'll put I don't know. And I said this the other day. We'll put Kevin Gates talking crazy about LeBron James and Savannah James all over the internet. It's like why are we not utilizing our media to report things, actually to regurgitate things rather than to create media? And that's my problem.
Good that you said that. Because guess what? What if we find that, in my bad, Lou, I'll make this quick. What if we find that there's an individual or a group that invested in the media company that's connected as a shareholder of Target? That's when we got to start digging.
That's it.
And that person is that. I see why they didn't want to put the brother or the sister on the platform.
Oh, 100%. We know that's absolutely true. I don't have it. That's 1,000% true. I mean that you got like some of these media platforms like WorldStar is owned by white people. Once Q died, once Q died, that was a bunch of lawyers took that over and they run that, and the black community runs that. So my point is whatever message that WorldStar wants to deliver to the black community, it's not coming from black people. And that's the problem. And again, when you get outside of the realms, and when you get into the media space, and you're talking about journalism, as opposed to sensationalism or tabloid media, I think we've slowly but gradually shifted our attention and our focus into tabloid media. It's great. It's like there's a lot more things to be talking about than Shannon Sharp because he was about to get a $100 million podcast deal, and he made some questionable decisions about who the age of the woman he wants to deal with, and now he's getting shaken down. But we jump all into that. Like we that's why I'm glad that this town hall is happening, because this is a bigger issue than what's going on with Shannon Sharp. This is more important, and we can talk about Shannon Sharp after this. But this is a far bigger issue, and those are the distractions that happen where we like, okay, so my timeline's full. My timeline's filled with Baddies West and Blueface kicking Krishan Rock out of the house. I'm like, bruh, it's a lot more other things going on, and so, but we are victimizing ourselves or making ourselves, diluting ourselves for that very reason. But again, these platforms are also addicted to the views and the likes and the clicks, and that's how they make their money, by driving that. And they also, and this is another thing that I think, and I've heard this I just hear this from some platform owners that I know, they're afraid to talk about these issues on Instagrams and X's and Facebooks because they are afraid that their accounts will get shadow banned or they will get taken away from them. So imagine you trying to be a media outlet and actually talk about the truth and say what's important, and then someone might come along and suppress your content or take your page down because you're telling the truth. That's why building and having these conversations on infrastructure that you don't own is really tough. It's really risky. Because I've been there. Saying, hey, put this up on I know people at some of these blogs, I'm like, yo, put this up. And they're like, oh, man, that last time I posted y'all, man, my engagement went in the toilet. I can't, I'm down with you, bro, but, man, the last time I talked about FANBASE, bro, man, my shit went in the toilet, dog. And I'm saying I gotta run my business. I understand. I'm not tripping, but that's why we have to kind of make this shift, this generational shift over to, something that we can control and we can have a say so and build on. And that's the part that's just more important. I was talking about, I'll say it, I wasn't going to say this, but I'm going to say it. Now that I got like some people in the room, my boy Justin. And this is a real thing. And I'm not, and this is, I'm going to preface this by saying that it is our responsibility as a company to build the best product available, to build the best app, to be the most bug-free, awesome-ass app in the world for creators and everybody worldwide. But one of my friends who's in the tech space said something to me the other day, and he's like, if FANBASE fails, it's not Isaac's fault. If, I'm not saying FANBASE is going to fail, but if it does, it's our fault because we numerically have the bodies to make this thing valuable just by using it. We numerically, it's like, at this point, the only reason FANBASE will fail is that people literally don't use the app just out of, we don't want to use the app, and that happens. And that's why, you know, in that, even in that time with the TikTok ban, why I was pressing, why nobody gave us major media coverage on the fact that of all those platforms, all them other platforms was funded with millions and billions of dollars, and here comes this independently funded platform that the community owns, and they're definitely not talking about that because they don't want us sitting up at the top of the app store. Because now you made the independent move. You giving the independents a major placement. So I know, because they'll call and tell you, yeah, you want a story on TechCrunch? This is how much it's going to cost you, or this is what, or the VC firm's going to say, man, don't post about FANBASE, dog, because they're messing up how we get our money and how we're able to do that. So there's numerically enough black people to literally lift this thing to the top of the app store, and you know, and whatever we want to build can be built. But we're doing that now. But I was just saying that.
We're going to talk about that today too.
No, I was just saying that because my boy came to me and said that because really how that happened is one of his friends that's a tech founder, and she has a multi-million-dollar company, and she's like, what do you think about Ike? You think he could pull it off? Like, he's like, pull it off? It's like, he done pulled it off already. He's like, what are you talking about? He's like, this thing doesn't work. It's not his fault. It's literally there. It's literally there for everybody to uplift and push up to the top of the app store and support, and regardless of what you may think about how you want a product to function or how you want it to be, there's numerically the bodies to make this platform work the same way they did with Blue Sky, the same way that everybody did with Red Note, and the grace that is given, or the attention that's given to other platforms that we don't have any kind of control over, but we don't support. And again, I mean, I love a challenge. I love somebody tell me some shit ain't finna be what it is, and so, you know, that's all Q2 is about. Is shutting down the haters who want to say, oh, y'all can't build an algorithm that's like dope like TikTok, or y'all can't really fix all these little things that we want. Okay, watch what happens when we start using this agentic AI, and all these people are like, okay, and these AI agents come in here and start building stuff, and we start doing a lot of things that people, you know, didn't think we were going to do, because now the playing field is a different ball game. It's not, it don't cost as much, you know what I'm saying? And we take advantage of the technology that's there. But my point is, right now, today, any day that Black America wants to make FANBASE the #1 app in the United States of America, they can. Any day. It could be tomorrow. It could be 2 days from now. It could be a week from now. Whenever Black America decides they want to make this the #1 app in the United States of America, we can do it whenever we want to do it. We literally just have to get on the App Store, press a button that says download, and make an account. And there's no if nobody's talking about that, that's news. And then when that becomes news, that's when people that want to call, and it's not going to be Andreessen Horowitz, and it might not be BlackRock, but it might be somebody over in Saudi Arabia, it might be the Nigerians, it might be the Ghanans, because money is money. If anybody wants to put anything into a business and invest in it and hire who we need to hire, it can be done. So there's no excuse at this point, right? The blame game can go around, but there's no excuse for FANBASE to not be the #1. Like in moments like these, with this town hall and other things like this, if Black people can spend $12 million a day, they can invest $12 million a day. And whatever the hell we wanted to, we can invest $12 million a day into a new target. I know you're talking about equity, Duran, but I'm like, yo, somebody needs to find a company that can be acquired, and then we turn that into a Black target. You know, we turn it into something. Or we you know, you said 40. That's honestly, when you said that, like, that ain't a lot of money. Like $46 billion market cap of 40. That's not a lot of money. Target on thin ice. $46 billion ain't a lot. You know what I'm saying? I mean, Eli could buy Target and still have, you know, 90% of his wealth.
Depending on how the structure is, though, you only need voting share. You only need controlling voting shares. So
No, we
you don't even need that much.
no, we know, but I'm just saying that's like
100% of the company.
yeah, that's just he just buy the whole thing. Like, let me buy Target and just call this thing Bullseye. You know what I'm saying? But like, all right, cool, whatever. We're gonna try this and sell whatever we want to. You know.
Hey, brother Isaac, if I could just ask you, man. First of all, congratulations on your vision, your success, and what you're doing to try to pour back into the culture and the media space, right? But I just want you to be careful of something, my brother. It wouldn't be your responsibility because you're doing a great job if it didn't succeed like it's supposed to. But at the same time, man, if you did a post-mortem on black businesses over the past 30 years, I guarantee you there'd be a whole graveyard full of companies that said my business didn't win because black people don't support black businesses. So I would just hope, in the way that you go about it, that that's not the reason that we don't win here, where the opportunity. No, I know what you mean. Let me say this one point. I'm saying the opportunity is that, like you said, the volume is there, the people are there, the money is there. So it's the responsibility or opportunity for businesses like you to come up with the imagination and creativity to make sure that it taps into what the popular mainstream of our culture is doing. And you're doing a great job at that, but I'm just saying, don't let the reason that we don't win be because black people don't support black businesses.
Well, here's the reason why I make that statement. It wasn't my statement to make. It was a friend of mine's statement he's in venture capital, in tech. He's like, you know, this is what he's been doing his whole career. The statement was just made that I understand that it's like the effect that certain businesses have from when we're in the digital space, right? Anything can be successful from a digital standpoint. Anything can be made to win that is online, right? Just by moving, literally moving from one place to another. It's like what I'm saying is Trump supporters made Truth Social what it is. Like they just went over there and downloaded the app, and he's able to go raise money. He's able to go raise money to build this app. And so my point is that we don't look at that. We don't look at that movement like that. Like the people that really got, like when people left left Twitter and went to Blue Sky. That had nothing to do with the functionality of the app. Had nothing to do with it. It was in direct protest to Elon Musk. That movement, in about a 35, 40-day period, allowed Blue Sky to value itself at $700 million and go raise money. So when it comes to the tech, when it comes to the tech space, that absolutely does that, because that's what happens. It happened with Clubhouse. It's just there's no like literally black people moved to that app, and that app was buggy. It didn't have 50% of the stuff it has now. But the fact that black people migrated onto the app, allowed them to go raise capital and hire people that they would hire, like sub-level people, to pay them $250,000 a year, and made the app worth $4 billion. And my point is that, okay, cool. They failed to find product market fit in the social audio space exclusively over these years, but a large portion of that is because a lot of people did leave the app when the black community started feeling disrespected, and they left. And so the only thing, when I go over there and look at Clubhouse, the only thing I see is black. Like I've made different Clubhouse accounts and acted like I wasn't black on different numbers. I want to see what kind of rooms are in there. Now let me tell you, the Arabic community, they over there, they the ones that's really keeping it going. Like, the Indian community and all that, they be having rooms with 4,000 people in them, doing 2,000 people in them joints. But a vast majority of the users that are on that platform are still African American, and understanding the leverage collectively that all you guys have. I'm just saying, if I'm a gangster, I'd be like, y'all got to give us 20% of this company. We all gonna leave. If y'all was gangster, that ain't got nothing to do with FANBASE. I'm like, if I was gangster, y'all got to give us a percentage of this company. I'm leaving. I'm leaving Clubhouse. Like, I'm out. I'm not sitting over here no more. Like, I'm gone, because we keeping the lights on. When Paul came in that room last week and sat in Lou's room for however long he sat in there, that's a sign. He's paying attention.
He came in there to watch me.
Before you got in there,
Okay,
It's on. Go ahead. What's the name? It's on. Lou. Let's start.
Hold on, let me play. All right, so the dude that started the Target boycott, Jamal Bryant, he going live right now. We gonna watch it.
You got the volume playing, Lou?
Yeah, you don't hear it?
No, I don't hear it. Let me drop all volumes.
It says live in 5 minutes.
It's on right now. Y'all don't
I
see
see it, but I don't hear it. I see him.
The audio's not working.
It's an audio button, Lou, on the screen that you may have to unmute.
Oh, let me do it again. Hold on. Start it over. Do it again. All right, real quick. Post it up top.
Wrong volume is low because I'm listening to it on YouTube, so you got to pay attention. Mute up.
All right. Hold on, let me play this real quick. All right. Playing it up top. Put a 1 in the chat so y'all hear it clearly. Hold on. Strip it real quick. So when you take the video off like 3 or 4 times, it don't allow you to play it sometimes.
And you got the force scrub it. Just force scrub it, like go forward and then go backwards. It's a little hack that I noticed too.
Okay, so hit play.
Yeah, I hit play. It's not. Oh, there you go.
We hear it now.
No, what happened? Okay.
Lou, you can't keep multitasking.
This his YouTube. It's not. This is not. It got nothing to do with me. This is YouTube. This ain't got. This his YouTube. No more.
Oh, the live is buffering.
Yeah, his YouTube is buffering. Are you still watching it?
No, I see. No, it's buffering on his YouTube. They're trying to shut it, man. No, yeah. There you go.
You see it?
Yeah, because it's not FANBASE. It's definitely his YouTube. Hey, why every time somebody starts a movement like this, it's always some
Technical difficulties.
Yeah, man.
Mute up.
All right, my bad. Yeah, they fucking with his. I'm sorry. Excuse my friends. They messing with his YouTube. Yo, y'all notice YouTube don't have these issues when it's talking about Krishan Rock or like a crazy conspiracy about a person getting took down. The videos don't never mess up around that time. But as soon as it's talking about a dude that, because I don't think people understand the power of economic boycotting a business collectively.
I'm watching his YouTube live stream. His YouTube live stream is buffering.
Yeah.
So it ain't got nothing to do with. It's like
ain't nothing to do with FANBASE.
Yeah, no, but I mean, it ain't got nothing to do with Jamal Bryant. His YouTube stream is buffering out. Bro, it's only 1,000 people watching his YouTube stream right now, though.
That's crazy. Wow. Oh yeah, they playing.
It's back. No, it's back. It's back though.
Okay.
Well, it keeps buffering.
Yeah, it keep buffering.
Well, let me see what's going on.
I'm looking at it on my other phone. The YouTube was buffering the whole time. Hey, hold on. Let's see if we can keep. Let's pause it for a second, then see what happens.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah. Hey, I don't never see YouTube buffering, bruh. Like, this is crazy. Nah.
It's fine payday loaning.
Yeah, it's doing the same thing. It's stuck at the same part. I'll let you know on my end if it unfreezes. Yeah, I'll let you know if it unfreezes. That's great. We can continue to talk though.
Yeah.
He's making some really valid points though. About how
I be hating on that black church, man. Them folks know, but they some good talking folks. They some good moral people, man. You know, and they made a move that a lot of people can't make.
But you can always find payday loaning.
it's still buffering. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's still buffering. Yeah, I'm on the YouTube right now. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, I mean this is an important message, but I know it's being recorded. So even if we gotta play this, like even if they gotta record it and we play it after the fact, like it's pre-recorded, then play it. We'll play it and record it because I'm watching it.
Yeah, we'll wait till it's done, and then they'll probably post it, and then we'll watch.
This is the stupidest movement I've ever heard of in my life.
Okay,
Target is stupid.
All right, so we gonna send. See, Lou, this is how you moderate. Send him back down because that's just a disruption.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
That was crazy. Come on.
No, it's just a distraction, dog. You can say that conversation for another room or go make your own room at another time. It's fine. I don't need no contrarian talking here right now. Don't bring Sinbad back up, man. Don't bring him back up, bro. Let him be. See, let him.
I said don't bring him back up.
Just let him sit in the crowd. Just let him. No, put your hand down, TC. You on punishment? No, you off code. No, sir.
Yeah, that's definitely off code.
Go on punishment.
You wouldn't do that.
I know.
You wouldn't say Trump did something stupid, TC. So don't come at JHB, man, Jamal Bryant for what he doing. Listen, why don't we start doing this, right? When somebody doing something that we disagree with, right? Why do we gotta publicly demonize it, right? Why don't we just mind our business and keep it moving? Or if you feel like you can do something better, right? Instead of hating, right? Why don't you make that exact version?
Why don't you run for office, or why don't you create a movement then? I don't understand that. Like, why don't people make their own movements then? Like, okay, well then boycott Target's cool. Then I'm gonna go build my own store that allow black people to shop or whatever. If you got something to say, then what's the solution then, dog? Be solution oriented. Don't be contrarian. Just be solution oriented, dog.
I think it's dope. Like, I don't gotta agree with everything. Like, see me, it's like we live in this cancel culture era where when we disagree with people, we gotta like try to demonize the person. Right? Why don't y'all just do what our ancestors been, taught us to do? Is mind your business, right? If it's positive, if the church people doing it, if they feel like it's effective, let them do it. Like, it's like a lot of people can't do the things that they critiquing the person that they're critiquing is doing. So they do the insecure stuff by trying to minimize it like, bro, just do it, right? How you see fit, and then let's see if people follow you, because this is a big movement, and Target is actually trying to sit down with people and relegate the situation. So I think it's actually brilliant.
Anytime you speak against a public company that has stock, it's going to affect the company in some way. So my assessment, just at a really basic level, I think black people should do anything they can to get wealth extrapolated from white people. Whether that's boycotting, whether that's actually starting a business. So I would never speak against the black person that's out there fighting to get wealth from white people and bring it back to black people. That's my extreme black people. On the other side, just strategically, I think we have to do it all. Like I said to Third earlier, that's why I told her I understand what you're saying. We got to boycott. We got to get the lawyers involved from the HBCUs. We got to start some hedge funds. We got to do it all. So I agree with that, Lou.
Hey, Durant, I'm talking to Durant real quick, and you play. You got. Listen, I think a small, before we do something big with each other, I always say let's start small, right. So before me and people that I know that do business, let's see if you can come on time to something like an event for the kids. We ain't got to put no money up, none of that. Let's see if you can be come to do the small things that can lead to potentially some big things. So I think the Target boycott thing was a good step in the right direction. But what if we redirect that to if you look at a lot of these places, especially in these major cities, right, where especially where in Martin Luther King, they got little Chinatown, they got little Cambodia, they got especially in LA, they even got little Ethiopia, little Chinatown, right, and all the people that own the businesses over there is usually the demographic that is named after us. But when you come to Martin Luther King Street, right, and look at the demographics who own all the businesses, it's usually non-black people. We need to do some stuff where, on a small scale, right, where let's say there's a gas station that's air-owned, right. They don't hire black people. They got bulletproof windows. They feed us like pit bulls, right. They don't help the community out. They just accumulate $1 million a year for over 10 years in the black community. The majority of their consumers is black, usually because Martin King Street is a predominantly black area. Why don't we create a black, all right, let's find a woman in the community, right, that's in a similar field.
Is it me or you stop talking?
Yeah, he stopped talking. I got a phone call. Who was next? I wanted to ask Durant a question after that gentleman.
Yeah, I think this is a great conversation.
Right?
Okay.
They'll be. I think they'll be.
You went out, Lou.
Wait, y'all heard nothing after that?
You went out. You cut out.
You went out and find a sister in a community that's doing
Talking about, all right. So I was talking about the Chinatown, Koreatown, Cambodia town. These Martin Luther King streets has been historically black towns, right? Where they stood there, segregated us, and we created business. What happened during integration? Our business class left and kind of integrated to corporate America, right? And left the businesses to now. If you look at these same communities on Martin Luther King Street, a lot of these demographics are first-gen immigrants, right? They're the Hispanics, Koreans, Asians, non-black people owning all of the business in our community. And it's to the point where they come in our community, have bulletproof windows, right? Don't hire black people, and then they just take from the black consumers in the community. So it's there's a way we can get on code with the consumers, right? With the people who spend money, and with the owner. So let's say, all right, hey, listen, in order for us to support you, you gotta be a part of this black agenda.
Download FANBASE.
Right, where a lot of the money is going back to the community, right? We find
Download FANBASE.
Man in the same community, right, that's doing a lot of this stuff, and then we put them in the ownership position, right? Let's say it's a gas station or an Nelson Fund that's owned by Asians, or whatever, right? Asians didn't do nothing to us. Right, but a proactive approach instead of reactive, waiting until the Asians call us the N-word and then boycott. Why don't we put a black person in that same exact position, and then all of the consumers that empowered that Asian business and made them $1 million a year in our community? Why don't we redirect that spending power to the black-owned business? Right? Once we do that, all right.